second. Let me get this together. Let me get this straightened out. Boom. There we go. It's the Nerve of You podcast, people. We coming at you live on a lovely Tuesday night, man. I hope everybody is having a good day so far. And if you're not having a good day, it is not too late to change that for yourself, ladies and gentlemen. So, hey, man, I'm sitting here with the beautiful, lovely co-host I love you the most, man. We got Rose in the building.
Hello. Hi, everyone.
And, Rose, what you think about, this topic we got? I thought this was pretty interesting what I've seen in the news lately about Keyshia Cole and also T.I. Instead of disciplining his son, he defends the behavior of his bad-ass son for the world. And what you think about that?
I think that it was wrong for him to publicly defend his son. I think he could have, told his son something that can discipline his son, like without shaming him. There's a way to do that, but he really didn't care about that. He just...
No, we're going to talk about it. And so shout out to everybody that's joining us, man. All I need y'all to do is hit the like button on your way in, and we're going to rock and roll. We're going to start off with the T.I. story, ladies and gentlemen. I'm pretty sure y'all seen it. This been viral for a few days now. And what happened was, long story short, T.I.'s son, King, y'all know King. King, it's crazy, his name is King, right? And that kind of shows you probably why he has some of the entitlement issues that he does.
Right.
But anyway, so T.I.'s son King was in a Waffle House, and he was on Instagram Live in the Waffle House. Y'all can look it up. I'm not gonna play it because I'm not gonna get my channel flagged or get my video taken down. But y'all can go and watch it. Matter of fact, y'all can watch that video while you're watching this if you haven't seen it. So T.I.'s son King was in a Waffle House, and he was on Instagram Live like most young people do, and he was using a bunch of profanity, and one of the Waffle House workers, she was like, can you stop talking like that? This is a public place. This is a business. We got people, and you loud and you using vulgar language. And he proceeds to go off on the women. You seen it. And then one of the guys that was actually a cook, I guess he was talking to a waitress at first, and then he started talking to one of the cooks. One of the cooks was like, "Look, man, don't talk to my waitress like that." Right. And he goes off on the cook, and then he got up talking about, "Come meet me outside," and he started spazzing on the guy like, "Ask your mother who I am," and da. So this kid King has a lot of entitlement issues, man. Like we seen King. You remember when T.I. had the reality show back in the day?
I remember.
I remember King was a little baby or something like that, But anyway, so instead of tip T.I., he was on Instagram Live himself. Instead of T.I. just saying, like, "Look, my son was wrong. We handling this internally. I talked to him as a father." That's all he had to say to the public. T.I. go ahead, defends his son, and start talking about the Waffle House workers as if they were nobodies. Well, why is my son getting into it with a short order cook? And you know what I mean? With that, I told him with your position in life, that's going to bring a lot of jealous and envious people. And all of this stuff. So I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah, he's an elitist.
You know what I mean? Like T.I., I'm like, damn, is he trying to get Father of the Year? Because any dad, right? Any dad with good sense, I should say. Any dad that truly cares about his kids, especially his sons, in this world we live in, will understand, like, look, man, you can't be out in public talking to people any kind of way. And when somebody pull you to the side, or when somebody asks you to correct your negative behavior, instead of doing that on the spot, you want to go and, get into it with them, threaten them, talk crazy to them. And I believe most fathers with good sense would have told his son, like, look, this is unacceptable behavior. Like, it doesn't matter if you in the Waffle House or the Ritz-Carlton. It doesn't matter, period. You see what I'm saying?
He attempted to have a united front. I think that's where he went wrong. And I think King was embarrassed that they actually spoke up for themselves. And he was on live, so he was just like, I ain't going to let them talk to me like this, especially while I'm on a live. So that's when he wanted to act out.
His son, to me, need a thorough ass whipping. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, why the hell would T.I., right? Why the hell would T.I.? It's one thing to keep a united front with his son, but it's another thing to talk about the Waffle House workers as if they're nobodies. Like, look, everybody is not going to be a rapper, an entertainer, an athlete. I actually think Black America, we have too many rappers, entertainers, athletes. We need some more lawyers and judges and politicians.
And entrepreneurs.
But that's another story for another day. Everybody is not going to make millions of dollars like T.I. Let's just keep it a buck. Everybody is not going to live in a gated community like T.I. But it doesn't make you less of a person.
Right.
You know what I mean? You can have values. You know, you can live a good life and still work at the Waffle House. Why? Because you wake up every day. You don't have to look over your shoulder. You're not doing nothing illegal. All work is good work. You don't have to talk about somebody's station in life because you hit a lick and became a rapper. You know, let's keep it real. Let's not act like rappers are changing the world out here.
Or the pillars of the community.
Real talk, like let's not act like rappers. Maybe it's a few rappers, I can count them on my hand, that did big things, but let's not act like rappers are actually, taken serious in this world. Like, dog, you are a entertainer. Dance, monkey.
Entertain and shut up.
Entertain and shut your mouth and dance, monkey. I'm saying that's how white folks talk to these guys.
Yeah.
Real talk.
They be in the glass house, the glass box.
Yeah, like this is how these white folks talk to these dudes and tell them to shut up and dribble. Shut up and dribble and dance, monkey, dance, monkey. So, everybody is not going to be an entertainer, dog. So I was so embarrassed when T.I. did that because he wanted to take the onus off his son, and he proceeded to go on a Waffle House workers as if they were doing something wrong. Dog, in life, you're going to have cooks. You're going to have people that clean. You're going to have people that manage the register. You're going to have management. You're going to have upper management. You're going to have ownership. Everybody plays a part on the team for this system to work properly. It's nothing wrong with the guy that's sweeping the parking lot. Does sweeping the parking lot make a man less of a man? No. And we don't know that man's story until we get to know him. We don't know what led somebody to sweeping up a parking lot or being a cook. We don't.
Right.
Truth be told. And that's not our job to judge. But if everybody are taking the entertainers serious and they don't take the cooks at the Waffle House serious, or the waitresses, or the people that work the cash register, if people aren't taking these people serious in your own community, then I see why everybody wants to be an athlete or entertainer. Nobody wants to work an honest job these days because they are in fear of being talked to by guys like T.I. and looked down on as inferior.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
That's true.
Hey, what's going on, Maxwell? So, my thing is, if that was me, I would have privately whipped my son's ass, and I would have publicly scolded him, because just imagine if T.I. would have publicly said that his son was wrong, maybe 10 other kids would have picked up on what T.I. was saying, because he is a celebrity, and you know how it is with celebrity worship. Mm-hmm. But since he went on to go in on the Waffle House workers, then it's going to be those same 10 kids going to feel that they can go to the Waffle House and talk to these people.
Talk down at them.
Talk down on them and look down on them.
Yeah, and that's, how old was this work? He probably was in 30s, 20s, 30s.
Probably.
You know, we don't know.
We don't know, but I just think that's completely unacceptable. And T.I. is supposed to be the same dude that's out here fighting for racial equality and economic equality. This is not. I'm not saying that this is what T.I. does.
Wow.
This is T.I. is the same guy that speaks up and get out and march and go rally when a white person do something. You dig? But T.I. is the same person that's looking down on his own people as if he is a white supremacist. At that point, that's the way I take it. Now you're the oppressor. And Farrakhan, I hate to say it, Farrakhan talked about, Farrakhan's my guy.
I love when you bring him up.
Well, a lot of people got issues with Farrakhan. I don't agree with everything he says, but at the end of the day, Farrakhan said this a long time ago. I didn't say it. And Farrakhan said that many black men, because we've been oppressed for so long, we become the oppressor to our own people. Like I say, ladies and gentlemen, I didn't say it. Farrakhan said it. So take your anger to the minister. Because, they'll get up in my comment section like, oh, F you, Boogie. I'm
Right.
like, look, I'm repeating what Farrakhan said.
Don't kill the messenger.
Where do you think I get my talking points from? So anyway, I just wanted to bring that up because I thought T.I. was dead wrong. And it really just infuriated me that a father would defend the actions of a son that is dead wrong. But we got to take a look at T.I. and his history. T.I. is the same man that went to prison back in like 2007 or 6 for buying guns and ammunition and silencers from an undercover cop. So we're not going to act like he's the smartest guy in the world.
Right.
A lot of people think because T.I. used big words, he's smart.
What is that word?
Indubitably. I'm like, well, I told Tamika to go over there off Gobby Road and Old National Road. You know what I mean? And when I'm in this element or this environment, I'm going to call my son King and we going to get to it expeditiously. Indubitably. Like, people think because T.I. read a damn thesaurus, he's smart. I'm like, dog, you are a rapper. You're supposed to know a bunch of words.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like, you're a hip-hop guy. You're supposed to know a bunch of words and put them together. That's what you do. Go ahead and dance, monkey. But we're not going to act like T.I. is smart because he read a Webster dictionary. This guy brought guns from an undercover cop. So that lets me know he's not the brightest bulb on the tree.
Right.
I'm sorry. He's not book smart or street smart. And I like T.I.'s music. I think T.I. one of the top 10 greatest rappers ever lived. East Coast, West Coast, down south. I think T.I. is a very good entertainer. I would never take that away from him, indubitably. But at the end of the day, I don't think he's a very bright man. I think T.I. is caught up in his own little world, like most celebrities are. You know what I mean? They live sheltered lives and people cater to them. This guy, hold on, let me read this. Hey, thanks for that Cinco, PJ. Ooh wee, y'all spitting that hot fire. Keep doing y'all thing. 100. You keep doing your thing too, player. Thanks for that $5 super chat. So, like I was saying, so you get caught with a bunch of guns that you brought from an undercover cop. I mean, I'm like, guy, you really went to criminal college. Nah, for real. Like, it's one of those crimes you got, like, dog, you brought high-powered weaponry, silencers, all this stuff from an undercover cop. And on top of that, he only got a year in jail in the feds. Now, the amount of weapons he had, the silencers alone, he tried to buy a silencer. If you get caught trying to buy a silencer, that's an automatic 10 years fed time.
Wow. Because
those things are highly illegal, silencers.
Right.
But he got caught trying to buy all this stuff and only got 1 year in jail. So that lets me know T.I. ran his mouth a little bit to them boys. Real talk. There's no way that a man gonna get 10 years. I don't care who you are. 10 years. A man is gonna get 1 year in prison. They gave him a year and a day. Dog, you ain't got that much money. No, you told them people a little something. Just a little something. Like when you tell those people a little something.
Just a little whisper.
Give you a pat on the back. Like, you know what, monkey? We're going to give you a year and a day, monkey. So you can get back out here and you can rap and you can sing and you can tell your people how you used to sell drugs to your community. You see what I'm saying? So T.I. is not the brightest guy to me. I don't know why people even take him serious. Besides music, if you want to take him serious musically, that's one thing. But it's like a lot of black people think presentation is everything, because he know how to formulate a sentence properly, and he used very big words, sometimes out of context.
Right.
That he's just a very, very smart guy. You know what I mean? Well, I told Tamika. I'm like, man, shut the hell up. So anyway.
I love your impersonation.
Nah, man, because Tip crazy, man. Well, you know, I was talking to King, and, you know, we sat down, me and King's uncles, and, you know, we all talked to him, and I didn't really like his behavior at the Waffle House, you know, but I'm trying to figure out, why would he go back and forth with a short order cook? That's what I'm trying to figure out. So I got on the phone and I called his mama, Tamika. And I said, Tamika, go ahead and meet me over there off Old National Road. So me, you, and Kane, we can sit back and talk about this situation that our progeny has gotten into. Indubitably. You know, Tip is a fool, man. Like, y'all take Tip serious. I don't. But anyway, you know, he's not the smartest guy. He tried to buy high-power weaponry from the police.
Wow.
That lets me know.
He's not the sharpest tool in the shed.
Not even street smart. So, on top of that, he's gotten into boatloads of more trouble. His latest little kerfuffle was with one of Tiny's friends. I guess they was having threesomes back in the day with the girl, and she put him on blast. Like, yeah, I don't know how true it is, but it was still bad on his name, because I'm like, dog, all the stuff you've been into in your whole life, and now you got a woman claim that y'all kidnapped her and all this stuff, and you know what I mean? So I can tell T.I. lives a life of no accountability himself. Right. You see what I'm saying? I don't truly think T.I. ever looked in the mirror and say, hey, you know what, Clifford? This is
Clifford.
Well, that's his name, Clifford Harris. Well, you know what, Clifford? This might be all your fault.
The big red dog.
This might be all your fault, Clifford. You keep getting yourself into these very, very peculiar situations.
Oh my God!
So you know what I mean?
Yeah, these gangsters with these names.
No, that's his name, Clifford.
Clifford, Thaddeus. You know.
Bartholomew. Bartholomew.
Oh my goodness.
That's why, like, a lot of celebrities, when they go to Hollywood, like Jamie Foxx, that's not his name. He got a funny name too. Like, a lot of these guys change their names because it's not popular, and they want a more mainstream name that's gonna sell, or a catchy name. Right,
something you can remember, more marketable.
Yeah, like Jamie Foxx, that's not his real name.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But so yeah, I just wanted to talk about this tonight because I felt like, you know, this is one of the problems with a lot of fathers these days, that they don't want to step up and truly be dads. Like T.I.'s oldest daughter, you know what I mean? She's a single mother now. You know what I mean? She got pregnant by a knucklehead rapper.
Where was that smoke for the knucklehead rapper?
Well, it ain't no smoke. And now you got King out here acting crazy. King is like 5'2". He's like a small. I think he got the Napoleon complex.
Right.
Like T.I. T.I.'s a small guy too. Pause. And so you got King out here acting like he's a gangster. Nobody's gonna believe King is a gangster. Like, dog, we seen you on TV. Like,
that's true.
It was almost like he was on the Cosby Show, because we watched him as a baby.
Right.
And we was like, oh, this is a good little cute little kid.
he is cute. Yeah.
He used to have his little hairstyles. Like, it's a cute little kid. Mm-hmm. So now we fast forward 10 years later, he want to play a gangster. Nobody's going to believe that King is about that life.
He's so ratchet.
You know what I mean? Real talk. Like, you walking around with gold teeth in. I'm like, King is 5'2". His hair make him maybe 5'3".
Right.
You know what I mean? But you walk around with a grill, and I'm like, dog, just because your dad went to prison for something stupid doesn't make you a gangster. Indubitably. So, I just thought it was crazy when I seen it. And then for T.I. himself to come out and to try to talk about the cooks and the waitresses at the Waffle House in his own city, I thought that was so beneath T.I. It was very distasteful to me because you don't talk about somebody else's profession if it's honest work.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Now, you may not want to be a cook yourself. You don't have to be. But what I'm saying is, do you have to shame another man for earning an honest paycheck? What would you rather have him do, T.I.? Sell drugs? Buy guns from cops like you?
Yeah, that's exactly what he will respect more. That's what's respected, not an honest living.
Real talk. That's what I thought. I was like, wow, what would you want the guy to do instead of being a cook at the Waffle House? Now you want him to get out here and sell drugs to his own people or commit crimes so you can get on stage and say, free the guys. You know what I mean? Because he was on stage recently talking about Young Thug and Gunna, like, yeah, you know what I mean, free the guys. But it's free the guys. We talking about Young Thug is in prison on some serious charges against other black men, of course.
Right.
We talking about serious charges, murders and things of that nature. Against other black men, but it's free those guys. But the guy that's earning an honest paycheck at Waffle House, whether you like it or not, you talk down on him. And this is the problem with the culture.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? This is the problem with the culture because when a lot of people that been oppressed get in position, they want to become the oppressor.
Right. There should be more black people striving to own a Waffle House because of how many black people go support. We love the Waffle House.
Indeed.
But that's not what they're thinking about. They're thinking about selling drugs.
Well, a lot of these young guys, look, we got 1.5 million black men in prison. It's only a little over 3 million people in prison in this country. We talking about men, women, everybody, children. There's only a little over 3 million people in prison. Half of those people are black men. I mean, we only like 11% of the population. It's not like we got a great big population. And
wow, I want to hear those stats again.
We got in the United States, there's a little over 3 million people in prison. Half of those people, we got over 1.5 million black men in prison. So that really goes to show that we got some cultural issues because it's not like it's a lot of black people in general. We only like 11% of the population.
Right.
And even in the population, most of those people are women and children.
Right.
So that lets you know how many black men were led down the wrong path or just chose to do something stupid or whatever the case is. Those numbers are unacceptable to me.
It is. You're right.
You know what I mean? Those numbers are unacceptable. And a lot of things that we promote is not helping the culture. It's leading these young boys right to prison. Mm-hmm. And they getting football numbers 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. You know what I mean? Yeah, some guys sit down for a while and they rehabilitate and they come out and do better with their life. But, you got to look at the recidivism rate.
Right. And then when they come out, they're underneath the 8 ball. So.
Because now you got felonies.
Right. How can you get a decent job? Hell, you can't even work as a cook in Waffle House half the time.
Well, they're just going to get out and start a YouTube channel. No, real talk. You see all these guys, they get out. And some of those channels do really good. I can't knock the hustle.
Right. I'm
down with capitalism. A lot of these guys get out and they start up a YouTube channel. You know what I mean? It just is what it is. So I just think T.I. need to sit down and really think about the kind of example he's setting because him being a celebrity / public figure, he's not a regular guy saying these things.
Right.
You know what I mean? I hate to say it, but some people take T.I. serious in the world. I don't know why. But some people actually take the guy serious. So, You know what I mean? T.I. should have really disciplined his son and put him in his place instead of defending his son and then talking down and looking down on the Waffle House workers like that. It kind of reminded me of that Meek Mill situation. Like, remember when Meek Mill was in Atlanta and then the Water Boys?
I remember.
They came up to Meek Mill's car, a very expensive vehicle, and they tried to sell him some water. You know, if you go to Atlanta, those kids is always out there selling water. And then Meek Mill gave them like $20 to split, and it was like 10 of them. And you know, like one of the little kids tried to, I guess he like touched his car. He went off like, "Don't touch my car." He was talking to him any kind of way. He called them runts, and it was like, damn, Meek, you was one of these dirty little kids walking around. No, have you ever seen the old pictures of Meek with the braids and the crusty lips?
Right.
He was walking around Philly rapping, trying to get on. Right. But it's like Farrakhan said, you want to become the oppressor. So now, when you are faced with the mirror, i.e. little kids that was in the hood looking dirty and dingy just like you, trying to find a way out. Right. You want to talk to them any kind of way because you hanging around with Robert Kraft and you bunny hopping for billionaires and stuff like that. It kind of remind me of that situation because, you know, all of these guys want to get out here and talk about, you know, racism and this and that. You know, there's nothing wrong with it, but we got to look at our own people and how they look down on us too. Right. You know what I mean? Real talk. Real talk.
Sure.
You know, and this is, you know, as black men, we got a lot of work to do, man. A lot of black men, honestly, man, we have a lot of hate in our heart. We do. And this is why most things that we touch as black men go to shit. I mean, real talk, man. It really goes to shit. And it's just inevitable because a lot of black men have a lot of disdain and hatred and disappointment and hurt or whatever in their heart. They may not ever say it, but you can tell by the actions. You can tell by how they treat other people. You know what I mean?
Oh, and don't forget lies. I said don't forget lies. You said hate and all those other things in their heart.
So, it's just my personal opinion. A lot of black men have a lot of hatred within them, and it comes out. You know, look how most black men treat each other. You know what I'm saying? For real.
And their women. Speaking of women and how black men treat their women, let's talk about Antonio Brown.
Go ahead.
And Keyshia Cole.
Well, first let's reset the room.
Oh, perfect.
This the Never You podcast, y'all. We coming at you on a lovely Tuesday night. I'm here with the beautiful co-host that love to do the most, man. We got Rose in the building. And, hey, man, we got some good topics, man. We was talking about T.I., expeditiously. You know what I mean? We was talking about Tip and his son, you know, and that whole kerfuffle that happened at the Waffle House.
Right.
And now we're going to transition into good old Keyshia Cole. You know, it seems to me she loves dysfunction, right, as we can see. And, Keyshia Cole done got caught up in some mess with a very dysfunctional man named Antonio Brown. Now, Antonio Brown was a damn good wide receiver in the NFL, but he has had incident after incident after incident over the last 5 years, ever since he left the Pittsburgh Steelers. I mean, Antonio Brown is the same guy that kicked his baby mother out the house and then threw all her stuff over the balcony and then try to hit her with a dildo. Like, this guy is very dysfunctional.
Wow, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, this guy's crazy. You know, his history is crazy. So, Keyshia Cole done got caught up in some mess.
Did she?
So you want to talk about it?
Well, I guess they had a video, they had a song together, Keyshia Cole and AB.
Antonio Brown.
Yes, and they were dating for a little bit. And he publicly dumps her after she got a AB tattoo on her back, on her tramp stamp, like a tramp stamp area. So, let me see what happened. So then, basically, he posted a video of her tattoo and said, "I'm still a player. Keep on pimping. You ain't a player until you smash a R&B chick," you know, and It was quite sad. And then she said she posted and deleted a message. She said, "Yeah, I was big tripping. SMH. I see it now. I have a 12-year-old. Like that type of disrespect for what? Nothing is worth that level of disrespect, especially when you don't deserve it. Had so much love, respect, and admiration for you. Guess that wasn't mutual either." Now, she had so much love, respect, and admiration for a man like that. Why is that? Because she likes dysfunctional men.
Like many women do.
You're right.
Now, it's crazy because we've seen, again, another reality show. Remember the Keyshia Cole reality show?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Back in the day, highly dysfunctional. She had the mother, she had the sister, and all of that. And it was just based on dysfunction of the family. And the crazy part is,
no order.
Of that show, Keyshia Cole was the most sensible person, which was crazy. But
odd.
Yeah, it's very odd. And then, Keyshia Cole did end up getting married. She got married to an NBA guy, Bobby Gibson. He seemed like a pretty decent guy, too.
Right.
Daniel Gibson. And for whatever reason, they got a divorce. I never even figured out why. But they got divorced. So I felt like she was on the right track for a minute. Like, okay, she got her stuff together. She distanced herself from her family. She's married. And then that went to hell. And then she was back in the news for other things. And now she got herself caught up with Antonio Brown, one of the most dysfunctional Negroes that's walking the streets. And literally got this guy's name tattooed on her. And I'm like, wow.
Months in.
Only after a few months. So I think that Keyshia Cole brought that on herself.
She did.
She can't blame anybody because you play stupid games, you get stupid prizes, man.
That's true.
You dig? So I don't feel sorry for her. Like, it seems to me that she like a little dysfunction in her life. Some people, when they have been around dysfunction and energy that's not in alignment and in harmony, when they've been around chaos and things of that nature, a lot of people like that type of living, man. I'm gonna be honest, they really do, because they don't know anything else. It's really what gives them that dopamine release. Some women like Keyshia Cole, she jumped off the porch early, 13, 14 years old, running around trying to get a record deal and whatnot, having sex with grown men, just being way too grown. And, she never got the proper guidance and tutelage on what kind of men to deal with, what kind of men not to deal with, what kind of men to stay away from.
Right.
She pretty much probably was always thinking that dysfunction is normal.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm not trying to make no excuses, but she got a hell of a story, and I think that's going to be the story for the rest of her life if she don't get it together, because it seems to me that she is addicted to it. Like, when people constantly find themselves around the dysfunction, something ain't right. Now, everybody got a past. I can see if that was her past and she moved on and she stayed away from it. All right, cool. You won't hear a peep out of me.
Mm-hmm.
But when dysfunction constantly finds you, everywhere you go, you seem to be in the face of dysfunction, then that lets me know that that's you.
Right. Yeah, she really degraded herself, going from her wife to, like, he treated her like she was just a
thought.
Yeah, like a unknown thought.
And see, here's the biggest thing too. Like Keyshia Cole said, she has a 12-year-old son.
Right.
So all of this played out publicly. Now her 12-year-old son has to get on social media and see his mother getting disrespected
and humiliated.
He got to go to school or summer camp or wherever. All the other kids is laughing at him because his mom is out here acting like a thought. So look at what she's putting her children through.
Right.
And a lot of women don't think what they do to their young sons, because if you're a mother or even want to be a mother, You don't think your past is going to catch up with you?
Right.
Especially in the social media days. Your kids, all they got to do is Google your name or get on your Instagram, and they found out that, you did this back in the day, or there's a video out of you doing X, Y, and Z. And you know what I mean? A lot of women don't even realize, like, yo, everything matters. Now my kids can see all the dark stuff in my past. Now, you may not be ashamed of it, but they don't need to see it. You know what I mean? A young 12-year-old son shouldn't have to get on social media and see his mom dressed like a thot.
Right.
Out here getting tattoos with a dude you don't even know name on it. What is that doing to the psyche of your son? How do you think he's going to treat women when he starts to deal? So it's a constant cycle of dysfunction that we don't even see.
Yeah.
And because she's a celebrity, it's always timestamped. She can't just sweep it under the rug. Like, remember that time in the club she got drunk and started dancing on the bar. Well, somebody recorded that. That time she decided to have a gangbang or a threesome and somebody had the camera out. Well, there's a video of that. And eventually it's going to get out.
Yeah, she won't be able to live that down.
I mean, ever. We don't, especially women, we don't even realize that affects their children. And even her daughter, she's setting a good example for her daughter. I don't know if she got a daughter, but
didn't she have a battle rap with her and Ashanti? Like, people put her, I don't believe that that's true. I think Ashanti was way better, but I can't believe that her status was like that high and then she just devalued herself that much, sleeping with a man like that.
Yeah, I think Ashanti, you want to talk about just music, I think Ashanti was way ahead of Keyshia Cole.
Way.
You know what I mean? Like, even when Keyshia Cole had that little itty bitty gap in her teeth, I thought she was actually cuter with the little gap. But, I didn't really like her music. I don't really think she can sing, personally. You know what I mean? Her voice always irritated me because I just never thought she had vocally, I never thought she had the best voice in the world. I'm like, yo, they can't put no auto-tune on that thing or something? You know what I mean? So,
she need to come out with a song Sent from Hell.
Yeah. I just never thought Keyshia Cole was the best R&B singer out there. I thought she was decent, but vocally, I'm like, nah, man. I grew up off the Anita Bakers. I grew up off the Mary J. Blige, you know what I'm saying? I grew up off women that can really, the SWVs, they can really sing. Keyshia Cole, I was just like, yo, this girl, love. It just sounded like a mess in my ears. I'm like, yo, get this girl off here, man. But the point is, you know what I'm saying? She's highly toxic woman. You know what I'm saying? I think she's very toxic, truth be told. And again, she want to come out and make statements saying, oh, I have a 12-year-old son, da-da-da. But it's like, was you think about your son before you made that foolish decision? Probably not. Right. You was thinking about you and having fun, and you got caught up in the moment. But a lot of times, kind of like T.I., we forget that we supposed to be responsible parents. It's kind of like, I don't know what's going on with the culture, like hip-hop culture, but I'm starting to see with a lot of people, it's stunning their growth. You know what I'm saying? Hip-hop. And that's why they always call hip-hop a young man's sport. And we always hear people say, well, they never call rock and roll groups old. Well, you got to understand the content. When it comes to hip-hop, not all of it, but the majority of hip-hop is bragging about how many women, car, money, and jewelry you got.
Right.
Or the drugs you sold, da-da-da-da, the guys you make-believe hurt and all of this stuff. So nobody wants to hear that from a 60-year-old man. I'm sorry.
That's true.
I'm sorry. Nobody wants to hear that from a 60-year-old dude. They don't mind some of these young guys getting on stage with their shirt off acting crazy, but nobody wants to hear a 60-year-old man brag about how much money and how many women that he's pimping. You know what I mean? And that's why, typically hip-hop is a young man's game, and then they phase them out, and then they get more young guys to step in because of the nature of the content.
Even
Now,
the women, yeah. Even the women, like Megan Thee Stallion. Can we imagine a 40-year-old Megan Thee Stallion still talking about get money, have sex? Yeah. Twerking, yeah.
Yeah, like, so, but what I'm saying is, the thing about the hip hop culture is that if you really want to be honest and unbiased, a lot of that shit stunts people growth. No, real talk. It really does. To the point where in hip hop culture, you will literally have a 50-year-old man sagging his pants. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it's no growth in it sometimes. You dig? Now, you have a few rappers that changed with the times and they matured really well. Shout out to Nas and Jay-Z.
I loved his album.
Or LL Cool J. You know what I mean? You got a few guys that was able to transition, but it's only a couple of those guys. Most of these guys get caught up in the jewelry. They get caught up in the cars. And all this stuff is rented, by the way.
Get caught up in young slime life.
Young slime. Shout out to slime. Young slime life. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. And then a lot of times when you look at these guys' ages, you be like, yo, this guy's 44? Like, Lil Wayne is in his 40s. You seen Lil Wayne lately?
Nah, I haven't
Lil Wayne look like he need to go to rehab.
Oh, dang.
Like, he's still getting tattoos. This guy is really out there, man. So, Lil Wayne, is in his 40s doing this stuff. And it's just like, okay, it's stunning their growth, man. That's all I'm saying. Anytime we don't mature properly within the culture, that means spiritually we're not growing. That means emotionally we're not growing. That means psychologically we're not growing. We're being stuck at a place of, well, a lot of our minds can't go beyond how much money we got, how many women we can sleep with, how much jewelry we got. My watch costs more than yours. You know what I mean? I'll sleep with your wife if you leave her alone. And a lot of this stuff does keep black men in their ego. Like, I grew up off hip-hop. I'm a hip-hop baby. But a lot of that stuff I can't listen to. Like, you don't hear me playing rap music in the house.
You don't.
I be on my R&B tip.
Yeah, that's
you
true.
did?
That's true.
Like, I be on my R&B tip. Like, I don't bump a lot of hip-hop in the crib. And to me, it's more of a energy thing. You know what I mean? I play it in the car. Like, especially when I'm on my way to the gym, I get hyped up. But when I'm in the house, I don't want that energy in my house.
Right. And I mean, even me, like, I started listening to clean hip hop. Like, if I'm listening to like the YouTube videos, I'll listen to the clean version. My friends will laugh at me, but I really would, because I don't I don't want to hear the curse words because I don't curse. Well, I try not to. So I know if I hear it, I'm going to start cursing.
Cursing this morning. But go ahead. Let's finish with the podcast. I forgot we were live and do expeditionally.
And I curse in my moments. But yes, anyway. Why? Why?
Oh, fuck. Indubitably. I was cursing this morning.
Really? On the live.
That doesn't belong there. Stop it. Holy mackerel. That doesn't belong there. What are you doing?
Oh my God.
No, go ahead. What's going on? Go out.
What was I going to talk about? What was I going to say?
You're talking about you don't curse.
Yes, I don't curse.
Go ahead.
I don't. I try not to, at least.
That's it?
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, you listen to clean rap? I mean, I can dig it, but like I was saying, I don't bump a lot of hip hop in the crib, and that's just for personal reasons, because I don't really want that energy up in the crib. I'm really an R&B dude. Like, more than likely, if somebody catch me rolling, I'm bumping R&B. But you know, I don't listen to hip hop in the crib. It's just one of my rules. You know, every now and then, you know what I mean, I might put it on, but for the most part, I'm either listening to some kind of, you know, R&B or old school R&B. That's just really my bag. You know what I mean? You know, and it just is what it is, man. To each his own. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But I think that women like Keyshia Cole, man, there's a lot of women that fit that description, man.
What? There's a lot of Keyshia Coles.
There's a lot of Keyshias, man.
You know, I was thinking the other day, you know how they say a culture or race can rise no higher than the moral position of its woman. So if women are morally sound, then they would choose men that are morally sound. Now, if the woman is not, then she'll pick dysfunctional men, and status and money will trump his morality. And that's exactly what happened in that situation with Keyshia Cole. That is a moral man.
Well, you know, your heart, I say it a lot, man, your heart going to attract whatever's belong to it. So,
Right.
look, if you got a bunch of dysfunction stored in your body and in your mind and your heart, you know, it's very hard not to look past that when you out here dating. You know what I mean? Because that really seems normal, and that's what resonates to you. And, you know, I understand why people do what they do. You know what I mean? We all got involved with people we shouldn't have at one point or another. But it's, as an individual, it's up to us to realize, like, you know what? That's why I wrote this book, Mirror Talk, that I am a little dysfunctional. So I have to be a lot more careful on how I date, because in my mind, I think that that's a normal way of living. You know what I mean? A lot of us, we don't even take into account of who we are.
Mm-hmm.
And we want to put everything on everybody else, like, oh, it's his fault or it's her fault.
Mm-hmm.
But the whole time, we were just attracting our water level. You know what I mean? We were just attracting who we was. So I think a lot of people need to take a look at that, because that is a reason a man is constantly bringing the wrong woman into his life, and vice versa. There is a reason that a woman is constantly bumping into, you know, men that disrespects her or don't value her or certain things. It's like, look, at some point we got to stop blaming the outside, and we got to take a look within and be honest with ourselves. Like, you know what? It's me.
Right.
At this point, it is me. I am jacked up on the inside.
Mm-hmm.
I'm messed up, and until I fix that, you know, until I purge myself, you dig, then I'm gonna keep getting the same results.
So that's the price a non-virtuous woman will pay, I guess, by choosing the man that is the same as her.
I mean, yeah. I mean, of course, every
Right.
time. You know, it's not gonna change.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think in a perfect situation, two people can grow together. Two imperfect people, you know, but they gotta be totally honest. That's gonna be rare, because you got to be so honest that it's gonna hurt. It's gonna cut. You know what I'm saying? And y'all gotta be honest with each other. Like, look, you know, it's like Rihanna said, we found love in a hopeless place. You know what I mean? But, you know, typically that really doesn't work out, because nobody wants to be real and say, you know what, I'm jacked up.
Right.
You know what I mean? I have trust issues. You know what I mean? I'm very irritable. You know, I don't, or I may have attachment issues or detachment issues, or, you know, I don't like nobody in my space, or I'm paranoid. You know, I'm afraid of being hurt. You know, I don't want to be vulnerable. Everybody got to come.
Yeah, I can't trust you.
Yeah,
You can't trust me.
Yeah, I can't even trust myself. So
Right.
it's up to the individual to be honest with themselves and say, yo, man, I need to get my ish together. That way, you know, when I do bump into the right person, then I won't screw it up and mess it up.
And they'll get a fair shake.
And I'll get a fair shake. So to me, it's simple, but it's about being real with yourself first. You know what I mean? You can't always blame the world for your troubles. You can't always blame the world for the things that you lack. You know what I mean? You can't do that, man. That's not fair to the world. Some of this stuff you're going to have to deal with like an adult. And a lot of us just got to grow up. I mean, honestly, man, if you look at the culture right now, we stuck somewhere. You know what I mean?
Right. And how old is Keyshia Cole? Isn't she like 39, almost 40? And she was doing the same thing these 18-year-old, 20-year-old women was doing when they was tattooing Blueface tattoo on their neck. How are you doing the same thing, making the same mistake that 20-year-old women are doing? Like, it's shameful.
See, here's my thing too. Like, a lot of these young girls, and not to make excuses for them, but I'm gonna keep it real. They don't even truly know no better. I mean, honestly, a lot of times if you look at their background, if you look at how they was brought up, we don't talk about sexual assault in our community as much as we should, or it's dismissed, and it's a big thing, not just with women, but with young boys too. You know what I mean? We have a major sexual demon in Black America because a lot of people have been touched too early, too fast, sexually. You know what I mean? So my point is that my point of saying that is, what was my point?
The women have their
Oh
dysfunction.
yeah. Like a lot of these young girls, man, they truly don't know any better. They really think their value is 100% tied in their vagina.
That's true.
This is why you will see a 13, 14, 15-year-old girl, throughout that school year, she might have slept with 16 of the little boys. Some of them done slept with her in the bathroom. You know what I mean? And like, we hear these stories.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I actually got a story, man, with somebody that I know. Long story short, somebody that I know, and their daughter got caught in a room with 4 boys, right? 3 of them was running the train on the girl. And the girl's little brother had went up there to unlock the door, right?
Mm-hmm.
And one of the boys got upset that he opened the door and shot the little boy with a BB gun.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So, in a situation like that, that's not fun. That's dysfunction. That's sad. That's pathetic.
That's a tragedy.
You know what I'm saying? For real. That's because you got these young boys, they only doing what they seen the older guys do.
Yeah.
And brag about like it was fun. And then you get this young girl. What young girl? I ain't talking about grown women. Grown women do what she want to do. What young girl at that age would enjoy being in a room alone with 4 boys, and then one of the guys put out a BB gun and shot your little brother? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That, to me, this is almost mental illness, man. This stuff is dysfunction. This is not even nothing to laugh at anymore, because a lot of people laugh at it online, like, oh,
it's
man.
It's so sad, and it's probably on World Star Hip Hop, and everybody's laughing about it.
Thanks for that.
It's disgusting.
Follow the Cash App, bro. The heart attracts energies and vibrations. Inspect the hearts of men and women at all ages. That's a Snapple top 5. So, you know what I mean? We got major issues, like young people, they don't know how to have sex.
Yeah, they don't know what they're doing.
They don't know why they're doing it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, a young girl, I mean, truth be told, this is my opinion. A young girl that is in a situation like that, it lets me know that, one, there's no father around, there's no parental guidance around. She doesn't know any better. She's trying to find her value and find her love through these young boys. So she gonna let these boys do whatever, and 9 times out of 10, at some point, she's gonna end up pregnant. You see what I'm saying?
Or working in the sex industry.
So,
yeah, it's very sad.
It really is, man. This stuff to me is nothing to even play with no more. It's really sad. It's pathetic.
And that's why when we say an excuse is that we're young, that's not an excuse, because every decision that you make, no matter how young you are, you're gonna have to deal with that for the rest of your life.
I think it should be more people telling these young people that all sex ain't good sex. Because if all we hear is hip hop, if all we hear is these rappers telling us how much of a good time they had last night, and you know what I mean, I slept with this girl and that girl, and if all we hear is the girls talking about how much they love giving head and things of that nature, then it's never the other side to that story.
Right.
That the traumatizing parts of sex.
Right.
Especially when you don't know what you're doing, especially when you're too young, especially when you out here experimenting. One bad mistake can affect you for a lifetime, and then we wonder why we so jacked up as people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So for me, I don't even I look back at some of the stuff that I seen and was into when I was young. That stuff ain't even funny no more, man. Like, you know, I would never do that shit today with the mind that I have now, because I'm like, yo, this stuff is filthy. Why am I in the room with 4 or 5 other guys trying to have sex with one girl?
Yeah.
And we all got on socks and shit. I mean, come on, man. Like, I'm dead serious. Like, that shit don't even look appealing today. But back in the day, we thought that was funny and fly. Like, we was sick. We was literally sick people. Only sick people do shit like that. Honestly.
Right.
I'm just being 100. And the boys don't know their value, and the girls don't know their value. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, our value is wrapped up into sex, but we truly don't know what we're doing. Just being 100.
Yeah. And that's why a lot of women, they grow up thinking sex is love. They think, oh, if I'm having sex with him, I'm showing him how much I love him. And then over time, after getting broken, then they have a disdain for love, and they're like, F love, I want money. Or they get that mentality, and that's just sad. You know, for you to switch your mindset from going from I want love, I want a man's commitment, that's what I value the most, to F that, I want his money and I want a baby. So that destabilizes the whole community when we do that. You know, so it's sad.
But it is what it is. But we're going to go ahead and rock and roll. You know what I mean? This was a pretty good podcast.
I loved it.
The Nerve of You podcast, man. We came at you live on a lovely Thursday night. Okay. And shout out to the co-host I love to do the most, man. We got Rose. I appreciate you for holding it down today. And y'all follow me on Instagram, man, at CBoogie Productions. You know what I mean? We'll be right back. Maybe tomorrow. You know, I'm thinking about doing a special podcast tomorrow. But if not, we'll be right back Thursday. And y'all enjoy the rest of y'all day, man. Take it easy. Peace.